Hope everyone is well. Just a thought for today. Last night in our Bible study, we looked at Lot and Abraham and them separating. One of the things we talked about is how Lot looked at the Jordan Valley, and when he looked at it, he thought it looked like paradise. It was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, the scripture says, like Egypt. And so it looked really great. But we talked about how appearances can be deceitful. And I kind of continue to think about that. And when we look at the Bible over and over again, God tells us that things aren't always as they seem. I mean, Proverbs 31:30 says, "Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain," and that we see several times in the Scripture where that's brought out. Jesus warns the disciples about the Pharisees that they're like whitewashed tombs. They look great on the outside, but there's death and decay on the inside. And when Samuel is looking for the king's anointed among the sons of Jesse, God makes it very clear, don't depend on the appearances, because that is not what God looks at. Because he sees the first brother, Eliab, and he says, that's the guy. He looks kingly. But he wasn't the runt, the smallest, the youngest. David was the man of God's choosing. Things don't always, that look good, don't always end up being good. And so, and kind of, I like to think through in more concrete ways. And so I'm trying to be healthier. And I really like things that crunch. And so I thought, okay, let's try a healthy option, which I know it's not the healthiest, but it's better than potato chips. I thought, well, I'll get a banana chip, And so I went to the Zimmerman's bulk grocery place, and they had a bag of these, and I thought, well, I'm going to be wise, and I know that they put a lot of sugar on the sweetened one, so I'm going to get an unsweetened one. So I bought into it. And quite honestly, it tastes like nothing. I mean, it's like almost like styrofoam because it's not sweetened. It doesn't taste like a banana. I'm expecting some sweetness because bananas are really sweet. So I'm like, that's not good. So then I go to the store and I get dried strawberries because I like strawberries and they're sweet too. And so these are freeze-dried strawberries, right? They have some crunch, but they're not sweet. They're really, really tart. And so both of them, this looks like a banana, sort of. This looks like a dried out strawberry, but they don't taste near the same, and they aren't sweet. And then you've got raisins that are dried grapes. They don't look like a grape. I've got a couple here. I don't know if you can see them. But you taste them, and they're sweet. They're actually sweeter, it seems, than grapes because something about the drying process concentrates the sweetness and stuff. But if you look at those, I don't know about you, but aesthetically pleasing, the grape would be the least or the raisin, because it doesn't look like a grape. At least the banana chip and the strawberry look like what they are, but the raisin has been changed. Not everything turns out like it appears. Appearances can be very deceiving, and so that's just something to think about. Is as we go in life, there are some things that we look at, we're like, oh, that's not for me. And really, that's where God's calling us, and we're like, well, I don't want that because this is how it looks. And God's saying that's not what matters. God doesn't look at the outward things. He sees the whole picture, and sometimes it's more important to look at the whole picture. So just something to think about today. Hope you guys are doing well. Have a wonderful